I got it.
I can tell you all that I had this like weird moment where I was just thinking about like the way that I approach like owning games or checking out games.
Mhm.
And I went through a period in my life where like I was maybe like not because I wanted only 2 games a year, but I would get like 2 to 3 games a year tops, like purchase.
Yep.
And I was at the mercy of my parents, family, although it was like usually like a birthday,
Sure.
maybe 2 games for Christmas. But like I remember every weekend, like every fucking weekend, I would go and rent video games. And not just like one or two, but like I would bring a
Yeah.
stack of games back to the house. And I was just thinking so much about that today and like how you didn't think too much about it. Like there was just you would try almost anything at that point in time.
Do you have a specific game that you remember renting but never owning?
Oh yeah, man. Like there were games that
Yes.
like you would have thought that I owned because of how frequently I rented them.
Sure.
This is a weird one, but like I remember Bomberman 64 being one that like I played a shit ton of like renting that game
Yep.
because all the
Same.
neighborhood kids could play that one. And a lot of the games that I would rent had to like be like co-op or multiplayer of some capacity. Like there was very few games that I was playing on my own that I would rent. And it was usually like, hey, let's ride our bikes to the family video or to Video Time or Broadway Video where I grew up and rent something there. And I just thought a lot about that today. And like I assumed that maybe we all did a lot of that as most people who were into games growing up did, but
Bobby, I'm a little bit angry at you because this sounds like a great deep dive topic that you are wasting on a cold open.
well maybe we can.
Who says it can't be both?
Yeah,
It's
who says
true.
it
It's
can't?
true. It could be. Could be. Johnny, did you have something that you remember from renting only?
Um, I
One more
feel
time
like
while I go.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors is
Good one.
Yeah.
one
Mhm.
that I would either borrow or rent, but never actually owned myself. That's the standout because I loved that game when I was a kid, but just for whatever reason, I never actually owned it.
Yeah.
Chase,
When I
you?
was big into renting, it was NES games. It was the NES era.
Yeah.
So the two that stand out to me, one is Rygar, which I barely remember anything about Rygar other than it's the one that you throw the shield. Um, but I know I rented Rygar. The other one is Jaws for the
Okay.
NES, which I think is a great game.
Game's hard.
That
Yeah.
game is hard.
Yeah.
It's got like original Ninja Turtles hard kind of, not just hard, but the idea of you kind of going
Mhm.
this top down overworld and then having a side scrolling thing that you get to. Jaws is cool. I would like to watch a speedrun of Jaws.
It's just fascinating like how things have kind of progressed. And I know that there was some talk earlier this year about Sony introducing like every game had to have a demo attached to it. And I know that Microsoft has said that they want to bring in some game demos as well, or at least give like an API or SDK, whatever it is, out to devs to like build that into their games easier. But it was such a cultural thing. Like it was something where it's like, hey, like you are going to rent a game. Like it's going to happen. You're going to have that. And it was such a fun way, like because it was such low effort. Like if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. You would just take it back and get something else. And now it's like, am I going to get like even our monthly preview? Like, are you going to pick these games up or like what's on your radar? And I found myself pondering pretty deeply just the whole like shift in how I experience video games. Like that's probably the biggest shift away from how I played games. Was
Sure, I
renting
mean
them.
renting to you is not really a thing anymore because you have the ultimate rental. It's called Game Pass.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Or
And
Steam.
that is
The 2 hour window on Steam.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say like you can
sure.
you try a game out, and if you don't like it, you just get all your money back.
I mean, GameFly is still a thing, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not
and
the
then I
same,
thought
man.
it's not the same. But in that Netflix style, that old Netflix style of we'll send you DVDs, there was still something to GameFly. I never had GameFly, but it always seemed like a
I
cool
did.
idea. And then I know that they always had sales. Like
Mhm.
you can buy our used games for a pretty decent
Yeah.
price. It seemed like a cool service.
I have purchased a couple of GameFly games when they went on sale.
The last thing I'll say, and like again, we'll probably talk about this on a deep dive sometime, but at that point in my life, like I didn't really follow developers. Like that was also like, you know, are you playing Nintendo? It was like it was an Xbox, PlayStation, whatever it would be. Like everything was a Nintendo.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if you're renting games, you're looking at box art. Like
that's what I'm saying.
There are certain games that absolutely like made bank off of they had the cool box art on it.
Yeah.
Did either of you ever rent the console from the video store?
Yes.
I never did that one.
I didn't either, but I was amazed that was a thing that you could do.
Sure.
But my mom was never willing to spend the money on that.
The last one that we rented was the 64 because of like when that came out, which was like October, wasn't it? It was fall, I think. Anyway,
I didn't get mine.
I ended up getting one for Christmas that year, but I remember we got to rent it, and that was wild. Like you had like this big fucking briefcase. Well, let's save this. This will be a fun conversation for another time.
Yeah. I do have one important question though.
Yeah.
Probably mostly for Johnny, but maybe for Bobby. Did you use the Pokemon Snap kiosk at Blockbuster?
No.
Didn't have a Blockbuster.
Okay. That was the one I rented the most. Pokemon Snap. Yes.
That seems like a great game to rent.
I rented that game like 3 or 4 times. And I would play through it and then take it back.
Yeah, we didn't have the I had a family video later in life, but it was a place called Video Time. Actually, it was 3. Video Time, Broadway Video, Video Experience, and then we got Family Video, and that's kind of where I spent most of my like high school days.
I know I got some of those stickers. I don't know where they are, but I definitely printed off some of my Pokemon snapshots.
Well, outside of nostalgia and renting, we ostensibly talk about video games here at the Casual Hour. I'm Bobby Pease, Chase Kinnicky, the gamer on the go, and Johnny Amizich. We're here to hang out with all of you and tell you about some video games that we've been playing. Tonight's episode, we've got a mystery game coming in from Chase. I'm going to talk about 3 things: my time at Sandrock, Monument Valley, and Necrosmith. Johnny is on a strategy kick, and he's playing that Crusader Kings 3 DLC. And then on the back half, we got quite a bit of news, ranging from everything from Respawn down to the Switch. So hang out, make yourself at home, get cozy, and let's crack this mystery with Chase. Chase, what the hell have you been playing?
So before we get to the mystery, I have another thing that is
God.
also a mystery to you, but it's not a game. It is a mystery book. I'm reading a book. This is called Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Volume 1.
You gotta stop. Just stop.
It's video game adjacent. I decided it was time for me to not just know who Liu Bei was because of Dynasty Warriors and actually figure out who this motherfucker was and what did he do. I also have Total War 3 Kingdoms, and I haven't played it yet, and part of me just thought, I should just learn about these guys. I should read the material. So I'm started. I'm 6 chapters in. I think it's great. I think it's very silly, and I love it. It's the best, and I'm just reading so many Chinese names, and I'm going, yeah, I don't remember him. Yeah, I don't remember him. Ooh, yeah, I played as him in the game. It's a great time. It's an absolutely great time.
What's the
Should
mystery,
I read that
Chase?
book? I don't think you have to.
Okay.
I don't think it's an especially amazing read. It's not.
It's a nice way of saying you're not smart enough for this, Johnny.
I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's
cultural
super well
standpoint,
written.
though,
Yeah. The problem is if you're not Johnny, you haven't played a Dynasty Warriors, right?
Not extensively, no.
Yeah. So part of it for me is I think this book would be impenetrable if I didn't recognize a bunch of names. When I see Xiahou Dun, I go, oh, that's the guy with the eye patch and the big long sword. And if you are not that guy who's able to identify these dudes based on names alone, then I think you're just going to read a bunch of Chinese names and have a real hard time telling them apart and figuring things out. Because you got a guy named Yuan Shao, and he's the leader of the Han at this point where I am. And then you've got Yuan Shu, and that's his brother, but Shu and Shao look quite similar, and it's really difficult sometimes to go like, wait a minute, who fucked over Sun Jian? God damn it. And then you have to go back and read footnotes, and it's Yeah,
I am
I'm
so
having a great
mad
time,
right
but
now
I'm
that
saying
you
people-
have pulled this bullshit where you get me worked up on a mystery game and you just slide in some.
Oh, that wasn't the mystery game.
I know. That's
Okay.
why I'm upset, because I was ready for the mystery game.
Okay,
And-
would you
and-
like me to tell you about the mystery game?
Well, yes, because now I have to hear about the mystery of the three lovers in ancient China, and I don't want to know that.
Romance of the Three Kingdoms is quite good. It's a fun read. Fine, I'll tell you about the game I've been playing. I've been playing the 2021 Casual Hour Game of the Year. It's called fucking Fights in Tight Spaces. I got a Steam Deck, baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Chase with the fast.
I lied to Bobby before the stream.
You lied to
He's
his
like,
face.
When's your Steam Deck coming in? And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
Because you act like I don't know how those things ship, and when you say that you got a shipping notification,
Yeah.
I knew you had it.
To be fair, it did get delayed by a day because nobody was here to sign for it yesterday.
Well, how do you like
in the
it?
lobby. I mean, I've only played it for about 20 minutes.
That's
and
all
that
you
was
need.
enough time to download Fights in Tight Spaces and play through the tutorial. And I'm like, yeah, baby, this
How
is
do you
so
like this?
good.
Talk about the Steam Deck. I've talked a lot about it. Like, how does it feel? What do you think?
Again, I don't have enough knowledge at this point. I've downloaded a handful of games. I downloaded the Symphony of War.
Cool.
I downloaded the Aperture Desk Job. I downloaded a couple things that were in my Steam library that I've been wanting to play forever, but didn't have a Windows
Pretty
PC.
easy to set up and get going.
Yeah, pretty much. Not too bad at all. That was fine. I got Heat Signature and Gunpoint and Ronin, like a lot of things that I was looking for. That I've owned for a long time. I just had no way of playing. So I hope to get to all that stuff soon and become a gamer again, because I know these last few weeks I've kind of been not playing a lot of video games or just playing a lot of the same video games.
You get to play Fights in Tight Spaces now.
I can play Fights
Super
in Tight
exciting.
Spaces now. It's great.
You can
That
play it
game's
in bed.
good.
You can play it in bed.
I could. I drafted a deck and went, man, ooh, look at all these shift and slip cards. I'm gonna fucking own these guys.
It's such a good game. God, it's such a good
great.
game.
It's great. And I think the Steam Deck is pretty cool too. I'm looking forward to testing it out a little bit more and seeing what it can do.
For the uninitiated, that is so. This is Chase's first PC, and as you probably
it's the first Windows powered thing I've had since I was in
this is Linux,
high
buddy.
school. It can play Windows games.
This is
It can play
even
games that were
even
made-
nerdier.
Yes, fair.
So I'm thrilled because I know that we've been talking off pod just about like what's going to be the best way for you to set up a quote unquote kind of like PC environment with that thing, which it is capable of doing, no problem at all. And I'm just like, I'm an idiot. I'm a dumb sicko. I love this stuff. Like I've always been just a tech whore. And like, when I think about you've been a little bit more pessimistic and cautious when it comes to technology, especially new technology.
I mean, I like a closed system because I know what I'm getting out of it.
Sure.
There is something like the reason I never wanted to get into PC gaming was because I didn't want to feel like I needed to buy another thing every year just to make my box continue to work. My graphics card is old, or my motherboard is bad, or something. I need another heat sink, or whatever the fuck. It feels like there's always a thing, and then once you do have all the things, now every time you want to play a game, you have to fuck around with settings and figure out. Oh well, what's the resolution that I can put at this game? What are the settings I can do to make this run the best? And yeah, that's something probably you only have to do once per game, but it's something you have to do once per game, where I can just put a disc in a console, or I can put a cartridge in a system, and
a simple console for a simple man is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. So the Steam Deck does solve some of those problems by making it much easier. It is basically a single configuration. I know there are a couple of different SKUs based on storage and types of storage, but for the most part, like this is the Steam Deck. When people make games, they can make games that will run on the Steam Deck with these settings. And yeah, there are still some setting things that you can tweak in here, but you don't have to. It sounds like so. I think for the most part, this is kind of what I'm looking for in that. Hey, I want a Switch, but I want it to play the PC games.
Yeah.
And so far, again, only 20 minutes of play here. So far, it's doing just that.
That's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to hearing more about your experiences there. I'm also curious how this changes gamers on the go, and
We'll see. Yeah,
like what that looks like.
Yeah.
But that's really cool, man. I'm glad you got it. I'm really excited for you. I have a screen protector for you for it, as I talked about, and then I think I was gonna
too late. I'm gonna smash it right
it.
now.
I was gonna help you get a few
No.
other things ready to go. Johnny, we're hoping that because they're doing emails on Mondays and Thursdays at the time of
I could get
recording
mine
this.
tomorrow.
We're
Yep.
hoping that you get an email tomorrow. I know you're close. You and Chase are pretty close on when you ordered yours.
Yeah, we ordered on the same day. So
I think Johnny actually ordered his before me, which is kind of fucked up.
he went back. Well, I think he did, and then he canceled it, and he went and got another.
I did, and then I did the
that's
next day, the same day you
it.
got yours, and I must have done it like an hour after you did.
Okay.
So Chase has been playing Fights in Tight Spaces, still a great game. He's reading a book, and he has a Steam Deck. He is there. He made it. He ascended.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I'm looking forward to hearing a lot more from you on that, and I'm sure we'll talk offline now that you let the cat out of the bag. Well, let me tell you what I've been playing. Some on my Steam Deck, others on my PC. I've been checking out a game called My Time at Sandrock, and I think the first game was like My Time at Portia or Portia or something like that.
Is this a direct sequel, or is it?
No, it's just like different. And I was pretty into what they were going to do with that game, Portia or whatever it was, Portia, and
like the car.
Yeah. And when I got it on the Switch, it left a lot to be desired. And I still own it there. I'm just like, that was not probably.
When you say that, was it like performance or controls,
it was really rough on performance on the Switch. Like a lot of like very, very, very shitty frames and stuff like that. But I thought it was a cool concept because it combines a lot of action RPG elements with more Harvest Moon stuff, and it seems like there's some pretty likable people that you'd be interacting with. And then I saw on Steam that they were like, "Hey, we're getting ready to go into early access with Sandrock," and I was like, let me take a look at what's going on here. And it seemingly was knocking on a lot of the same doors. I think the very first offering of early access from them was a bit unpolished, but they dropped a few quality of life updates within 24 hours and solved a lot of those initial like rough patches. But playing it, it's a pretty cool game. Like I like the environment. I like the style quite a bit that they've got going for it. You work off of a series of blueprints, and there's a shit ton of side quests. So there's parts of it that remind me of some of the stuff in Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, where you're getting to know the townsfolk, and they're going to give you a bunch of different things to do. But you have a bunch of different machines and tools that you're going to be using to craft new gear, from weapons to armor.
Okay.
This is
I see.
BBE.
I see what's happening here.
It's an early access crafting game with maybe some survival elements.
A crafting game that they're still crafting.
It's not. Yes, good. Not so much survival, but there are going to be some pretty cool things that'll happen where like there's you're going to get elements out of the animals when you kill them that you're going to use to go in and craft like different gear with. So it's got that going for it also. This one has a mine that you can go down into, similar to like a Stardew, and you're going to be trying to find different things down there and bringing it back. It's cool. It is a cool game. I will keep an eye on it. I'm pacing myself with it because not everything's there currently, and these are very big games that you can start to build upon and do stuff. But I'm here to tell you that My Time at Sandrock has been a lot better experience than My Time at Portia, and I have enjoyed it. I've played a little bit on my Steam Deck and mostly on my PC, but it's something that I'm digging for sure. Let me tell you about some other games that I've been checking out.
Please do.
Oh, Chase, if you only knew what you're missing out on.
I know.
Some very, very cool games that are nothing new to this show, nothing new to me. Monument Valley has been ported to Steam, and they've got both of the versions that have the full HD 16:9
landscape mode. I think is what they're
mode on
calling
it.
How's that look?
Oh my god, dude! Playing it in
How
4K,
could it not look amazing? It's
it
Monument
just
Valley.
looks so fucking good.
How many
And
screenshots have you taken?
I've taken a screenshot.
Yeah, like this is just now. It's not phone wallpaper anymore. Now
Yeah.
it's wallpaper.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like what level I'm going to use. So I've got my main monitor, and then I have a vertical monitor over here, and I'm trying to think like how can I shape this up to do something really cool with like a piece or like the totem over here on this vertical one going off. Man, Monument Valley is still a really fucking good game, and playing with a mouse is a little strange in comparison to like touching, because you could just tap where you wanted to go with your finger, and you can do it with the mouse as well. But there was something to be said about, I played that on my iPad, and like
I mean, it was a touch first type of game.
Yep.
So it was,
And
honestly,
it's both games, right?
Yeah, you can
Do
buy
they come
them
bundled, or do you separate?
There's two options. You can buy them individually,
Okay.
or you can buy them bundled. They're both discounted right now. I want to say I paid like $12, I think, for both of the games.
that's not bad at all.
No, and I didn't need a lot of convincing to replay those games, but that was a pretty, like, playing it on there seems like an all right time. And even if it's just to get wallpaper, it's just okay by me, because that game's really pretty to look at. But if you've never played,
that's still my iPad wallpaper. Is the I think it's in Monument Valley 2. It's a tree that you like keep growing and keep spiraling up. And I've got that very first screen with the tree. I like that one.
If you've not, if you just don't know what Monument Valley is, there's two of them. It is a really amazing Escher, right? Is that Escher? Escher-esque puzzle with a heartfelt narrative, like very minimal storytelling. There's no dialogue. A lot of it is left for you to just experience, and it's got a beautiful soundtrack to it. If you haven't picked up on it yet, the game looks striking as well. But
very colorful. Like the Escher is usually known to do like black and white drawings, but this is full color, very bright and vibrant. It's stunning. It's a stunning looker.
But very cool to see that the port happened, and I'm hoping that this maybe means that we'll get more Monument Valley, because I would certainly love to experience more of that.
We did get there was that DLC for 2, right? That was for a charity thing.
Yep, they did for
environmentalism thing.
It was AIDS. It was during the World's AIDS Day, where like a lot of the apps turned red. They had a version that you could get that.
I thought they did something more recently with trees.
They might have.
Like
I know that they had. They did. It might have been just on Monument Valley. There was, because Apple had like tried to get a lot of apps to do something there. But yeah,
I'm looking it up. You can continue.
So anyway, that's Monument Valley. I did play a game that came out. I played the demo of this game, and it came out today. And I think this game is really fucking rad, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it.
Looks pretty awesome.
It's pretty fucking cool. It's called Necrosmith, and it's not exactly like a Vampire Survivor or 20 Minutes Till Dawn, but it scratches that same type of itch where there's a lot of things going on that you're not directly controlling. So you are a necromancer, and you are like this. Your screen when you're playing the game, you've got over on the left-hand side this larger rectangle that has a table that has 5 slots on it, and you are reanimating corpses that are going to fight for you. And these are pieces, so there's going to be a head, a torso, 2 arms, and 2 feet. And the cool thing about this is that you're going to be getting body parts that have different attributes to them. It can be armor. It could be like, here's an ogre skull. It could be a zombie that you're building. It could be an arm that has a shield. It could be a crossbow. It could be a magic wand. It could be a book of spells. And then you're going to find a skull that's maybe wearing an arm, like a helmet. You're going to find another wizard skull. You're going to find torsos that have magic increases, and you're going to build these corpses up, reanimate them, and then release them onto a map where they're going to freely roam and kill hordes of enemies, collect resources, and then take over outposts like mines or other resources that are going to start to net you these mats that you're going to use to increase your tower. So it's a little tower defense in some capacity where these hordes are going to be coming onto it. You can click on one of your corpses and follow them around this map as it's getting bigger and exploring out, and you can take control of them if you need them to go towards a certain area, and you can move them if you want to. It is really cool, and there's other things that you're unlocking. For you, the user, you're unlocking spells, and one of those spells is a kitty cat, and that kitty cat will run across the map and get all the resources you haven't picked up yet, which is really cool. The other thing that you can get is like lightning strikes. So if you are waiting to like animate more corpses and you got people hoarding into it, you can hit them with a big ass lightning bolt and take care of it. You want to know what like one of the coolest parts of this thing is?
I would love to know what one of the coolest parts of this thing is.
It's $3.
$2.69 right now.
It's actually $2.69.
Nice. What I will say is, I don't know how we would define this genre. Like, I think it really started for me with Loop Hero, and then I look at like the Vampire Survivor.
It has some tower defense elements to it.
Yeah, I think tower defense RTS is like a weird combo that kind of worked for it.
All I know is, based off of your description and what I'm seeing on its Steam page, I'm going to play this game.
It's really cool, man. It's one of those games that like, it is run based also. So at the end of your run, you're going to come back into your laboratory and there's a bunch of stuff that you can unlock with gold. So the cat is 100. That's like the first one you'll get. There's other areas that will like let you get warp doors. And like, I found like a bunch of weird shit too. It's like, hey, you just discovered this warp zone. So now you can choose a different location on the map that these reanimated corpses are going to come out at. It's just a cool concept, man. It's got a great look to it. It's got an awesome soundtrack, and it's a really neat, like, oh, the other thing that'll happen, you unlock blueprints. So like, if you build a certain type of corpse, it'll be like, hey, this is actually a spell ninja. It's not that, but like whatever it would be. And then it saves as a blueprint. So if you want to build that same thing again, you just click on it, because they all have different attack skills when you put them out there. And so you're building that stuff out and you're managing them. You can pause and go into like more of a tactical mode where it's like, okay, I've got a lot of shit coming my way. I'm going to build a bunch of stuff up, and then I'm going to hit release and unpause this and let it all go crazy too. So you have a lot of control over it, which is neat. But Necrosmith came out today, currently $2.69 on Steam. I don't think it'll work really good in its current offering on the Steam Deck. But
that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, it's not verified there. I haven't tried playing it, but just knowing that you're clicking a lot of things, and then the input method for controlling the characters is with WASD. So you want to be able to like do that for sure. But I'm betting that they'll add controller support at some point.
I'll tell you what, we're gonna find out.
Okay, Chase is here to test it. But worst case scenario, Chase, like this would be something like hook up to your TV. Play with the mouse and keyboard, check it out, because it's really neat.
Yep.
So I covered my time at Sandrock. We talked about Monument Valley coming over to Steam, and then Necrosmith, which as of July 13th is out now. And those are some really kick-ass video games. Johnny, what's wrong with you?
I was going to say, speaking of kick-ass video games.
It's a great question.
So I've been playing a lot of Northgard. Still been playing Northgard. That game,
we know,
fucking rules. And then it got me itching to play some other strategy games. So I fired up Civ 6, put a few hours into that. Civ 6, still an excellent game. Oh God, a Greek, no, an English woman who was a ruler of France. I was trying to go for a cultural victory, and she earned like the most culture points of all the
France's want to do.
Yes. And then I returned to a little game called Crusader Kings 3. And I, as you know, adore this game. I put a good chunk of time into it when it came out in 2020. And I've dabbled here and there. But because I was so consumed by it, for that period of time. I've kind of kept it at arm's length because I know what happens once I get into it. You guys can understand.
Yeah.
But I found a copy of the Royal Edition for $23 online.
Well, isn't this game on Game Pass?
It is, but it doesn't have any of the DLC.
Ah, got it.
And I looked, and it was less expensive to just buy this than it would have been to buy the expansion pass or whatever it's called from Microsoft. And since it has its own launcher, all my save data carried over, which I wasn't expecting. And I dove right back in, and they have added a few new things. There are some new scenarios that you can start out with, set in like the same time periods, but you're playing as different leaders, and it's setting up like different struggles that are happening, and you and some other people on this continent are all working towards the same goal, and you're competing with one another through skullduggery and conquering. But the coolest thing that they added is you can actually hold court now if you are a king, and so you have your throne room and you have your quarters in there, and there'll be people vying for your attention. And when you're holding court, you have people coming, asking for favors, things of that nature. And just like the rest of the game, you get to make a decision based on your skills, and depending on what other traits you have, you might get stressed out, or if you have a high martial skill, you might have a dialogue option that's not available to you if you don't have that. And I never know how much to dig into this because I can feel Bobby falling asleep right now.
No. You're good.
I love this game so much, and it's been really nice getting back into it. And I've been watching YouTube videos again because there's so much I just forgot about the game. And I'm really trying to approach it now that I have a good chunk of time under my belt. From before, I understand a lot of the real basic stuff. I'm focusing more on, I don't want to say min-maxing, but playing more effectively, I guess, and not just, okay, I'm just going to take over as much land as I can as quickly as possible, because that will come and bite me in the ass. And I've been learning more about the different systems of government and how you the best ways to earn the different currencies that you need to unlock new cultural things that allow you to basically shape your empire the way you want it to go. Because it takes a game can take 700 years or something like that, 700-800 years depending on what year you start.
Johnny, we only have 1 year for Game of the Year. You can't.
Yeah, I know.
Chase, are you playing Fights and Tight Spaces right now?
No, I'm installing Inscription.
Steam says he is, but yeah.
Johnny,
I'm
yeah.
Inscription.
May I step in for a moment?
Please.
Do you have a pen and a paper handy?
Or
a way to capture notes?
Does that help?
I mean, I have my phone.
Okay, I'm going to give you 3 games to check out here.
Okay.
That I feel like I've done pretty good by you so far in recommending things that might scratch your itch further. And you know me, I'm a whore for games, and I want you to be able to get...
Should I also write these down, or do you know I will hate them?
I want you to write down at least 2 of the 3, Chase.
Okay.
So the first one up is a game called Kingdom 2 Crowns. And I do believe that this is a co-op game. It's on just about everything. It's on mobile right now as well. It came out in 2018. There's been some DLC for it. Pretty cool pixel graphics. This is going to be more of like a side-scroller-esque. You are doing some neat things. You can do the entire campaign in co-op. If I've looked for a reason to play this game, if you check it out and you think it's worth it, let me know, and maybe we can play that together. The one game that I think that you and Chase should both check out, and that I am very curious to check out, is from the developer Brave at Night. They made Mind Scanners, which I think is a phenomenal game and has some really great writing in it. This is
Okay.
a dialogue heavy one. It's also produced by No More Robots, who did Hypnospace Outlaw, but it's called Yes, Your Grace. And
Yep.
this is
I know about
also
Oh, yeah, I love that game.
okay. You've played this one,
It's on Game
Okay.
Pass, or at least it
it's
was.
kind of like Crusader Kings meets Reigns. I would
yes.
say, like somewhere in the middle
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I
Chase,
put several hours into that.
that one is deck verified, by the way, so you can check that out on the Steam Deck if you want to. And then the other one, Johnny, is in my library. I haven't played this yet. What if I
Yeah.
told you there was a sci-fi game that was Crusader Kings meets Dune?
Yes,
Out it.
I want to go to there.
It's in my Steam library. You can check it out. It's called Star Dynasties. It's
Okay.
got a demo you can download right now on Steam, but
Mhm.
this is definitely more akin to what you love about Crusader Kings.
Yeah.
But like it's got that really cool, like this has got a really slick look to the type of sci-fi it's going for that I think would be something that would scratch an itch for you also, knowing that you love sci-fi as much as fantasy and that you like this type of strategy game.
Yeah.
This game came out in 2021 and got decent reviews, and I mean people that love it really love it. I think it might just be a little hard to get into for folks not familiar with the genre, but those are three games that I think you should definitely keep on your radar to check out.
Okay. And I just the last thing I'll say about Crusader Kings, and just to give like an example of a thing, not probably ever, maybe not ever, is how unpredictable it can be.
Sure.
And so I was playing in one of these new scenarios as a king, like where Spain and Portugal and France are now, modern times. And I played as a king, and he had two brothers on either side. They were both kings as well. And I had the right, if I wanted, to declare war against him and not really get any penalties taken against me. My army was small. So I only had one child. I had a single heir. And I was like, okay, my guy's still young. He's definitely going to have more kids. So if I marry her off to the king of France, of East or West France, I don't remember. Anyway, it was a king that had a really strong army. And when you get married, you become allies. And if you go to war, you can call them to war with you. And so I very easily conquered my brother to the east, and then I conquered my brother to the west. I got this nice, beautiful new kingdom. And then my guy dies. And
damn it, Johnny.
My daughter
died of.
I think he was just old. But
so he never did have any more kids.
He didn't.
Wow.
Damn it.
And then the daughter became the queen.
Sure.
But obviously she can't. All of her children are going to be the heirs to this other kingdom.
Right.
And so I really fucked myself, and it's.
I mean, it sounds like you didn't fuck yourself enough.
That's true.
That's true.
So yeah, it's so good. I love that game.
I would like to hear you talk more about Crusader Kings 3 when you download that Three Houses
that is
mod.
On my list of things to do.
Oh,
I thought if we ever have another Chase Johnny stream, maybe that's something we could tackle once I check it out for myself.
I think there'll be some time in September for it.
Yeah.
Cool. So we covered chasing a Steam Deck and playing Fights in Tight Spaces, the Casual Hours 2021 Game of the Year. I talked about my time at Sandrock.
I read a book too.
He did read a book. That's true.
Reading a book.
I know Bobby doesn't believe it, but I can read.
I'm reading a book too.
Monument Valley, Necrosmith, Crusader Kings. We gave some recommendations as well. What do you boys say we talk about the news, though? How does that feel?
Sounds great.
Let's do it. All right. This just pains me, and I can't say
somebody is specifically targeting you.
Mm-hmm.
Just teasing you.
So Apex Legends is a good video game. It plays really well. However, it's lacking in a couple of the big features that I love in Titanfall, which is
very big feature.
Exact, the wall running and obviously the mech suits.
Yeah.
Story came out 1 or 2 days ago. Respawn, hey, they're working on a new FPS.
That's
70 Apex
single player
Legends.
FPS.
Yeah, but it's
Great.
set in the Apex Legends universe,
So Titanfall 3?
which is the Titanfall universe.
Yeah, the Apex Legends universe is the Titanfall universe. This is some bullshit. What is this revisionist history?
But what does this mean? Does this mean...
It's not...
What does it mean?
If I had to guess, maybe it'll be like a console-based thing, but they've had such great success with mobile, and we'll talk more about like other first-person shooters going mobile as well later on.
Are you telling me they're making a phone game that's an
Could be.
FPS?
No. I think they'd make a real game.
Yeah, but
I wonder. Okay, here's a question for you.
Is it just because Apex Legends is so much more popular? That's how they're branding it. And hey,
Probably.
maybe it has Titans in it.
Could be. Let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
I've never played Apex Legends. I still have not played a battle royale game, a proper one anyway. I played Tetris, but that doesn't quite count.
That's the ultimate battle royale.
That's you're damn right. That's what I feel. But if you had to pick one Apex Legends hero or Apex Legend, who do you think would have the best skill set for a solo single player FPS?
Oh God. Hang on, I gotta look at the roster here because it's been a minute since I played this game.
Is it
I
Wraith?
couldn't even tell you
Is it
anybody's
Wraith,
names.
the girl that like makes the portals to go through?
Sounds right. I like Gibraltar a whole lot.
Yeah.
What's he do?
He's
got a
real
big
tanky.
shield.
He's got a
Yeah.
big shield.
Okay.
I think Wraith is their name. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I like Bloodhound. I think Bloodhound would be an interesting character to
Bloodhound I've
explore
heard
more.
of. Sure.
A lot of these people I haven't heard of. Pathfinder. Pathfinder is just they're in Titanfall 2. You know the little robots that have the smiley face?
Wraith for me.
Kind of.
Yeah, Wraith would also be cool.
Okay. How about Tracer? Let's get Tracer around.
No, Tracer needs to
The cavalry's here.
stop it.
Is that the same thing?
What about you, Chase? Who would you pick?
I don't know anybody. That's the guy with the gun.
Fair.
That's the one I'm going to say. Actually, how about the guy? I don't actually think this would be good, but the guy who copies himself, who does like the I'm an asshole guy, and then he puts out is his name Mirage? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Sure. Let's put him in there. He's the only Apex legend I know.
So Johnny, you might be heartbroken. Sorry to hear that, man.
I don't know. Like, who knows? Like the Apex
It'd be
brand
extremely hilarious if they say we're making a new single player FPS in the Apex Legends universe, and then it comes out and it's called Titanfall 3. That would be so.
Yeah, I would
hilarious.
give a shit. Like, I wouldn't care.
What if it's called Apex Legends Titanfall 3?
That's great.
and then that's all they call it.
I
Apex
know
take
that it's safe to say you guys know how much I love Titanfall.
I love Titanfall 2 is one of the best first person shooters ever made.
Yeah.
Isn't Apex like decades after the events of Titanfall though?
I don't remember how far into the future it is. I just know it's set after that. So
all I know is that the Callisto Protocol happens after PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, except it doesn't anymore.
But couldn't there be a game that tells the story of like how things in Apex Legends came to be, from like the bridge between Titanfall to that?
Yeah, I mean it's all speculation at this point.
What if they added a story that was like, what did that person do in that cave on that one sand planet for 30 years until the kid grew up?
Yeah,
sounds great to me.
Yeah, sure. Johnny, what's going on with Sony?
It has its moments. Sony bought Haven Studios, which is a new studio that hasn't put out anything yet.
Okay.
But Jade Raymond works there.
Oh,
she, what does she work on?
She worked on Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, that's right. Mark Cerny's assisting as well. And this was just... Sony has been quietly... I mean, not quietly. There's news stories written about it, but they've been progressively picking up more and more studios over the last couple of years.
It's not coming out at E3 a couple of years ago at this point. like Microsoft
Right.
did. It's like,
Yeah.
we bought every single fucking studio, and they're all making a game for us.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Also, I'm excited to see what they put together because there was, Jade Raymond's there. There's some other. I'm sorry, I pasted the wrong source article initially and started to go looking for a new one.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think
Yeah.
Jade Raymond has not gotten to make a lot of games, but I think she is one of the more interesting people working on video games. I think she's got some excellent thoughts. I know I can go all the way back to when like an interview that she did when she was talking about these connected worlds that are not about like NFTs or MMOs or things like that, but just the idea of here's a lot of people and they're having a shared experience. And I remember I equated that to Blaseball, but I think she's thinking about games in cool ways that I wish a lot of other developers were thinking.
Yeah, and having the financial clout of a company like Sony behind her studio.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what she puts together.
Yeah, I also think she should just make a game. You should put out a game.
Just make a video game.
That'd be cool.
Speaking of companies that make video games, here's one that's made the same one 3 times.
They've made one video game. Yeah, they don't make video games. They make.
Oh, are you talking about your darling over at Rockstar, Johnny? That can do no wrong.
No.
Oh, weird.
They can
made lots of different games. They made ping pong.
Yeah.
But you made a comment about a game being made 3 times. I thought you were talking about Grand Theft Auto 5.
I mean, yes, absolutely. But they didn't have a story come out this week.
Oh, my mistake.
And, okay, yeah, I'm being a tad cynical here, but
I'm being very cynical.
We were all a little mystified that Naughty Dog decided to remake The Last of Us Part 1 when they remastered it when the PS4 came out. Also, that game is less than 10 years old.
It looks great.
It still looks good.
I shared with you my hot take on that, though, right?
I mean, they're trying to put something else out before the series releases. They're trying to build up hype. That is beside the point. It's the fact that
they have a game, though. They could just
have a game.
Here it is.
It's
on the system you own.
They have incredibly talented developers that work there, and rather than work on something new, they've been remaking. And I'm not discounting the work, and this is, I think,
and they've done side by side screenshots, and on one hand, absolutely, this one looks functionally better. Yeah. But I also think there might be like a difference between stylistic of, hey, these characters looked great before, and now these characters look quote unquote better, but are they actually better designs? I don't know.
Look, I'm not here to celebrate Sony. They're a peg above Nintendo Switch.
Are you holding a Playdate right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Or is that part of your point, or is that just
no? I hold it a lot.
Okay. That's fair.
It's a really terrible thing to flex with. I know. I just casually hold a Playdate as I'm making a point about Sony.
I mean, you might as well. I just casually hold a Steam Deck. It's just a thing I do.
I'll have this in my hands while we're talking.
Johnny's got a book. That's all Johnny's got.
Get your fucking book
out
of here.
My hands need to be doing something.
This is my hot take on it. I agree with both of you.
It's your fidget crank.
It is my fidget crank. I personally, from Sony's perspective, like I go back to what's happened every time a new season of The Witcher comes out on Netflix, and the story that comes out about the sales happening on Steam for The Witcher 3, and it's insane.
But it's the same game that they put out.
I understand. Remastered. Let me make my point. God damn it.
Okay.
There's not any box out there that has The Last of Us with a PS5 logo on it, and that's the shit they're selling so much so that you still can't buy it. And when I think about what they're trying to do and what makes sense to me is that when that TV series hits HBO and has Pedro fucking Pascal in it, The Mandalorian, which is like one of the biggest names out there.
That TV series better be really good if it's also going to sell a bunch of video games.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that it's going to tell the origin story, and I think having a modern version of that for them, and I'm just trying to make sense of it from a business perspective, to be able to say like, hey, you just watched our TV show in 2023. Here is the Last of Us game. Start here and then play the Last of Us 2. Where we know, because we're sickos, that remaster's fine and it plays on that console. But for the average person approaching it, it's not going to be as evident that that is the case. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's how I'm seeing them justify this. And and if I had to like really take a step back and like try and say like it's a good call, I'm not here to do that. But looking at like GTA, looking at Skyrim, there's at least another business sense here with a TV show coming out that like I could see them trying to justify it in comparison to some of the other idiots out there just bringing the same game from PS3 360 era.
Those are remasters though. This is a full-blown remake. Like they remade this game. And
what if they gave it the Final Fantasy VII remake treatment, where it starts the same and then it completely goes off the rails?
Oh my god, yes.
But you understand like what I'm trying to say, though, right? Away. Like I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
I'm saying it's wrong.
That's fair. That's totally fair. Like like if you go back a few years on the show, I've been one of the more vocal voices against remakes. I don't think it's great. Like, and I agree with Johnny. Like, this is a team that should be making something fantastic, whether it's more Uncharted, whether it's another Last of Us that's not the first or second one, or a completely new thing.
They should definitely make a completely new thing.
Yes, I would love more Last of Us. I really like both of those games.
What else do they have to tell in that story?
They don't have to tell that story. It can become something where it's like I think it's fascinating to see what they've done with a post-apocalyptic environment with this virus that doesn't have to follow any of those people.
Yeah, it can be completely new characters. It could be in that universe, and I would play the shit out of it. But yeah, they got some flack saying there's a developer an animator that works at Naughty Dog.
Yeah, let's talk about the actual news. What is the story here?
They're an anime person. Yuck.
Yeah, he tweeted, "It's just a cash grab," in quotes, and he said, "Actually, it's the most meticulously built and crafted project that I have ever seen or been a part of in my entire career. The highest level of care and attention to detail possible." I'm not disputing that.
It can be both.
It can be both. It can be.
It's not mutually exclusive.
Yeah. And again, I know that the developers who worked on this worked very hard, but I'm not too keen on paying $70 for a game that I've owned for however many years now. Also, was like $15 whenever they made this announcement. Mm-hmm. It is coming to PC, so I think
70 is a lot of money for this game.
Yeah, like I've played through this game, I think twice. I've watched a replay of it once before Last of Us 2 came out. I don't need to see or play this game again for a very long time. I'm sure that
nobody here is picking it up, right?
No, I'm not. Nice. Like once it comes to PC, if it's like heavily discounted, and I'm like, hey, I really want to check this game out again, I might pick it up further down the road. But I
still feel weird about the Resident Evil 4 remake that just got announced somewhat recently.
That's
like even that game feels like, wait a minute, that game is modern. I mean, I know it's like a few systems old at this point, but that is like
remastered
a modern video game.
Yeah, they put a VR version. Like that's the one.
Like RE2 and 3, absolutely remake those games. Totally revamp them. But 4? Like 4 is 4.
I don't know if it'll get this cheap because again, they did remake this game, but Final Fantasy VII launched on Steam after being on Epic at a discount. You can get Horizon Zero Dawn for like $15 at this point in time. And then I've seen God of War as cheap as like $29 on Steam now. So maybe down the line, if I've got some Steam credit and there's a deep sale for it, sure. Maybe I'll get the itch after watching that series like I talked about earlier and want to experience like, hey, what happened there?
this will be a PlayStation Plus game at some point too.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. Like maybe the
Well,
current offerings. Yeah, that's
which
my
level
point.
of PlayStation
Oh
Plus,
no!
Yeah.
Oh
we have
no!
PlayStation Plus extra
Right.
release.
God
Probably
damn
not
it!
an essential release.
Yeah.
Well, if
So
you thought that was a bad move on a developer,
well, this next not quite a developer, but they make a tool that many developers use.
oh, they're definitely some tools.
They are Unity. You've probably seen their logo. If you play any amount of indie games, you've no doubt seen the Unity logo when booting up those games. They laid off 4% of their workforce last month.
Yep.
Which totals hundreds of people across departments. And then this week, they announced, "Hey, we're buying another company." So it's bullshit.
And also, usually when you buy companies, you then also lay off some of their people because there's
Right.
some overlap. So
Yep.
that seems great.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's another example, I think, of why unionization in something like the game industry and a lot of other industries where people tend to get fucked over.
A little bit less unity, a little bit more union, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is also, I think it's Unity. Aren't they the ones who have been taking like some government defense contracts and even having their employees work on some things like that without really telling them that that's what they were doing? I thought that was Unity. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's
I think it is
Tools developer, but I thought it was Unity.
Yeah. That came out last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people didn't feel great about that either. So
yeah, they were. I don't think they were. They complete.
They're just. They're making all kinds of great choices.
I mean, it's weird to take big government defense contracts and then also lay off your people like you don't have enough money, and then also buy a company like you have too much money. It is a very weird kind of bad look.
Agreed.
And hey, if you're an indie developer out there and you're watching us, because why wouldn't you? There are lots of other tools that you can use. Unity's out there for sure, but there's plenty of other things. I know Game Maker is something a lot of people use. There's plenty of tools out there for you to find and use.
That was one of the big things too that came out was that again, I'm not here to like call out Epic as like the safe haven, but Unreal Engine 5 apparently is a dream to work with and very simple, very, very good to go. And I've heard that was one of the reasons that they saw some people leaving is that like I don't fucking know. We don't know. We're reading the same shit everybody else is.
We do not make games. Let's make that clear.
But that was something I did hear. Could be a factor into it. So
yeah. Oh, I hope those people can land on their feet.
Sure.
All right. Hey Chase, this news is for you.
Okay.
Do you ever wish that you could play Destiny on your phone?
I do play Destiny on my phone. I switch weapons all the time using the Destiny app.
Okay.
Nice.
It's a great game.
What if you could play Destiny?
It's got better functionality than the actual video game in that I can take them from my vault and put them on any character I want, which is something I cannot do in the game easily.
That's very silly.
Yeah.
So Bungie reportedly working on a first-person shooter mobile game that's been in development for more than 2 years.
And it's in the Apex Legends universe?
It is,
weird.
actually. Yeah, it's crossover.
Interesting.
So Bungie hasn't confirmed anything themselves. And this is more just like rumors. So there's no real tangible details to speak of. But it seems like a smart move on their part from like a money standpoint. I just wonder how it would tie into like regular Destiny.
It would.
Well, I bet there are going to be some lore cards that will show up in a completely separate app that you.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, that's what it will be.
I from what I've been hearing, it's not going to be like the current version of Destiny or playing that, but it will be its own deal. I would not be surprised at all if they bring some form of the Crucible to this, and do some shit with that. Like Maybe it is
And
just a
mobile makes some sense. There's
yeah,
still money to be made in mobile. You
yeah,
have Destiny players there that can't play Destiny when they're on a train or whatever. So
right,
what if we had a way to continue to monetize those people? Uh,
totally.
I mean, Bungie's also been working on lots of other games. We know that they've what was it? NetEase like put a bunch of money into Bungie at one point to work on a couple things, or maybe it was Tencent. One of the
Just
two.
Tencent gave him
Okay.
like
Tencent
100
gave him a
million
bunch
or
of money
something.
to work on new projects. Sony obviously bought Bungie and is giving them more money for things. So we know they're making more than just Destiny
Yeah,
and more than even just a Destiny mobile game. But I'm interested to see stuff from Bungie. Um, this is not the thing I'm interested in seeing, but let's see what
Yeah,
this thing
let's
is.
get something different.
Maybe you play as a ghost. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
yeah,
Bobby, you want to take this next one? This seems right up your alley.
gladly. Uh,
Then Chase,
so
you can take us home.
in case you were wondering, the Switch is in fact not hot at all, and don't be confused. Like it can't run games because it gets too hot. Well, it can't also be in an environment that's too hot either. Nintendo has come out and this stuff's always funny with technology, but they've come out and they said, "Hey, the Switch works best anywhere between 5 to 35 degrees Celsius," which, for those of you who aren't aware, that's like 41 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's a lot of like it's been around 100
He
degrees
did
some
that
days
math
there.
in his head. Just want people to know that.
Yes.
You know.
Uh, and I'm a global man.
It's true.
What I will say is, beyond the Switch, don't take your technology out when it's super hot. It's not good for it, and that's a
Yeah,
dumb
it's like
thing.
I know this is a story about the Switch, but I'm also not putting my Steam Deck in 90 plus
No,
degree weather.
Yeah.
That would be dumb. Don't do
Yes.
that.
I know
If
that
you
you want
take
to
your
take it
phone
to.
outside and leave it sitting in the sun, you'll get a message that says, "Hey,
Uh,
this shit's too hot."
Yeah, I've left my phone in my pocket, like at a baseball game where the sun's beating down on me, and you'll even get it sometimes there, or like it won't be the message exactly, but I'll take it out and I like start to do a tap, and I'm like, oh shit, that's hot. God
Yeah.
damn, fuck that.
I know that you
Yeah.
want to take your Switch to that slick rooftop party where you can all play 1-2 Switch, but maybe
Yeah,
wait till the
Maybe
fall.
just not on the hottest
make
day.
sure it's shaded if you're
Yeah.
gonna do that. Yeah.
So it's just funny that like companies have to put that shit out, like caution, this drink's
Yeah, I
hot.
mean that's the McDonald's coffee thing. Although that's always a weird example because that might be like the one example that it was necessary because they literally threw scalding hot coffee on that woman.
Yes.
But it is like the frivolous lawsuit poster child, even if it's undeserved. But yeah, this feels like Nintendo just covering their ass when somebody goes, hey, my Switch got hot and broke. And they're like, yeah, what the
Yep.
fuck are you doing?
Well,
You
I was
idiot.
just trying to play the latest game on it. That's what happened. And it got way
Sure.
too hot and blew up.
Yeah.
Speaking of things getting way too hot on the Switch, Chase, what are we going to do about this?
I did not read the story. I'll look at it, but I can tell you that it says Bayonetta 3 devs say you don't have to take Bayonetta's clothes off to have a good time. Bayonetta, I've only played the first one, but I imagine this also happens in the second game
It does.
as well. Bayonetta has a. Ooh, well, Johnny knows. All right, he's done the first-person research.
I've done. Yes, I've researched this thoroughly.
Yeah, I bet you have. So one of the key mechanics of Bayonetta is that she has all this hair, and actually her clothes are also made of hair. She's
Gross.
this weird hair witch, and all of her power stuff, she can make big summons with her hair, and to do that, she has to take that hair from somewhere, and it usually ends up being the clothes off her body, and then in the games they'll put like strands of hair in very strategic spots so you continue to not see her lady bits. So yeah, apparently in Bayonetta 3 there's going to be an option or a mode that you can choose that doesn't do that. That you probably just make the summons and she keeps the clothes on because it's Nintendo and they're a family company. But
if you follow the link that we have in our note, Chase, there's an embedded tweet that has like the slider that will show like on off.
Oh, that's very good. This is very, very good. I like this. I also like that they're calling it naive angel mode. That's very good.
Whenever I go to the swimming pool, I let people know that you're lucky. This is the naive angel mode of me.
Yes, this Platinum Games tweet is quite good. By turning it on, you can play right in the living room without having to worry about what's on screen. ... We think. Good job. Good job. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, this is not. I hope you don't have any fanboys that are going, this is censorship, because they literally are keeping the thing in.
Assuredly there are. There are.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't. Geez, what the hell's the name of the game I love?
Catherine.
God damn it. Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE, that's it.
Oh, you get to
part.
put glasses on Bayonetta?
I mean, she already wears glasses.
Oh.
It'd be taking him off, if anything.
Well, you can do
but
that.
No, like they took off the in Tokyo Mirage Sessions, they took off the they call them the vagina bones. Yeah, which is a big deal for a lot of English Western audiences that are like, why'd you take away my bones?
God.
Yeah. Weebs, I don't know if you know this, Bobby. Weebs are
horny?
Cringe, as the kids would say.
Yes. Horny cringe.
Yes, they're horny cringe.
Total dog water.
Dog water cringe horny. BMW.
We're gonna have some pretty decent choices for.
Listen, don't be judging my BMW drip horniness, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, gents, let's close it up here. It's been a week for us.
Like Bayonetta's clothes. Let's close them up.
Let's take them off.
Let's zip it.
Let's get out. Let's make like Bayonetta's clothes and get out of here.
Get out of hair.
Oh God, yes. Yeah. This past Monday, we didn't stream. We took the night off.
We didn't. I felt very not great.
And you know what? It's okay. We've been going at a pace for a while, and it was definitely like well-deserved time off.
Yeah. I mean, we did a show 2 weeks ago. We didn't do that.
We did not. So we haven't had a casual Monday for like 2 weeks. And also the
we'll have one next Monday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
I have the wrong thing here for a quick look. So we put up a game called Pacifish, which is a really cool. It's what I'm referring to as a click-bait game, where you are fishing but clicking a little bit, and it's more of a clicker. It's neat. It's a free game that you can check out. We've got a quick look up on our YouTube channel. If you want to follow along with that, you can do so in chat. But it's youtube.com/casual hour. Tonight, we broke down those games we've been playing. Chase finally got a Steam Deck. I'm so fucking happy for him. That's awesome. And then tomorrow, we've got a quick look going up for Diablo Immortal, where I finally got to show that to Chase and ask tough questions like, why do they want to get into my wallet? And I showed him, maybe they do, maybe they don't. And then Friday, they do. We are not going to have a stream Friday night either. I will be out of town, and Johnny will be Johnny. So we're just going to
not Japanese breakfast.
It's getting real casual this week.
Yes, real casual this week. We'll back.
Formalize it up a little bit next week, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll be back on track. Johnny and I will be playing Deep Rock Galactic next Friday as part of our rotation. Chase, you and I were going to take a look at Last Call BBS, but now that you have a Steam Deck, maybe we'll play something together.
I'd still really like to see Last Call BBS, but yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay, so we're definitely going to be back on track next week. You can take it up with our managers if we're not, and let us know how you're doing. But a lot of good reasons to hang out with us. Go back, check out some videos on demand. We've got some really fun series. Chase is talking about Fights in Tight Spaces. We've got all kinds of cool shit for that game, including 2 videos with developer commentary, and you should absolutely check that game out because it fucking rules. So that's what we got for you this week. Chase, I think the Gamers on the Go brand is about to get a little bit of an overhaul. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's due for some new blood because I haven't made an episode in a while on that. I know we've got lots of options now. We still have Jiggy-san ready to go when we want to talk about more Playdate games. Bobby's new fidget crank.
Yes.
We also, now that two of us have Steam Decks, maybe we'll find some Steam games that might be good GOTG material. Or maybe I'll just Johnny and I still have those analog pockets. There's always something we can find to play on the analog pocket.
Oh yes.
Go to gamersonthego.com, keep up with that, and at GOTG Podcast on Twitter, and I'll put updates there when we do have a new episode. Meanwhile, I also have a YouTube channel that you can check out. It's called Chasey K Plays on YouTube there. And currently, I'm playing through a campaign of what the fuck is that called? SteamWorld Heist. I'm really great about remembering the games these days. SteamWorld Heist, fantastic game. I haven't put up a new episode in about a week or a week and a half. Things are kind of busy around here at the moment, but looking forward to recording a new episode and putting that out relatively soon.
Awesome. Lots of cool shit happening with Casual Hour and friends of the show, Gamers on the Go. Make sure to get in where you fit in. We will be back Monday night with some fun games. Check out our social accounts for links to other things and updates on our schedule at the Casual Hour, wherever you get social. This episode, if you're watching it live and you come back to anything, we post it Friday mornings. So wherever you got your podcast, we'll see you on Friday. Gents, take care of yourself, and we'll be back soon.
Yeah.